Alright, so I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to go over again what supreme range is, because it's going to take a while for this idea to develop into something that people could consume, because as of now, it's just my idea. It's just something in my head of how I see creation and existence. My idea of supreme range and how it connects to life is the thing that powers life, the thing that allows life to be. See, you gotta look at it, or you could look at it in two different ways. One as knowing and the other as experiencing. And knowing is non-measurable, whereas experience is measurable. It's in the realm of which we have a life in. The knowing is non-measurable. It belongs in a category of something that we can't even fully express what it is because we can't measure it. So we got to look at the side where you can measure it, and the side where you can measure it, that's the side of duality, the side of experiencing through feeling and experiencing through sensation. And the experiencing through feeling is, you know, your intuition. You know, that part of you that just understands something that you can't really put together how you know it, but you know it. And so that's on one side of experience. It's internal observation. Everything's going on internally. On the other side of observation is external. You know, things that you could measure, things that you could feel, objective things in general, matter. You know, these are the things that you can impose your will on. You could impose force on. You could say that this plus this plus this equals this. All things objective. So supreme range is the thing that has complete control. It's not necessarily that it has control, because to say that it has control is to say that it's separate from it. But in fact, it is it. You know, just like I can't separate my mind from my body, because the fact that I could make motion because of a thought that I first had to do so, it is it. My mind is the motion itself. It's this dimensionless realm. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, who knows what to call it? There's many names for it, but it's just dimensionless, and it has control over this dimensional reality that we in. You know, this dimensionless has divided itself into all sorts of dimensions of experience, what we gave words to, but it belongs to the dimension, the dimensionless. And this dimensionless realm is just the same. It's like a mirror. You know, when you a mirror immediately expresses the same thing that's reflected in it. So it's a harmonious, synchronistic expression of the dimensionless. The dimensionless is infinite potential. You know, it's all kinds of things that can come out of reality. You know, it's kind of hard to speak on this because it gives so many things. This is the cradle of existence from my awareness, and it's kind of hard to speak on, but we all try to do so just to understand it. But this is where power resides, in the dimensionless. Power, you only know power through expression. Just like if there was a gun and it has a bullet, you know the bullet that hasn't been shot has power inside of it, and it's only expressed whenever the bullet is shot. So in the dimensionless, the power is in its inert state, you know, the state of motionless. and it comes into motion to express power. And I'm tying that into how life is the same way. Just like you could sit and think and question, where do we come from? You can't come up with an explanation unless you understand initially what I'm speaking of. You have the experience of understanding how something comes from nothing, which is not true. Something can't come from nothing. It has to be something there initially to even come from nothing. So if you understand this, then you already know what I'm trying, the message I'm trying to give. And this all goes back to just trying to say that this power is what fascinates me, because this power, it gives everything that we see. It allows everything that we see to be. It's the gateway. It permeates through everything, and it ascends through everything as everything. And I'm not just trying to throw out wordplay here. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. That's why the phrase supreme range is something that I constantly give my attention to, because without that, there would be no capacity to move or create or do anything. So this dimensionless realm is where everything comes from. And I like to also add in the fact that you could imagine something, and that imagination can come to be. Where does the imagination reside? What position, what realm does the imagination sit in? No one knows. There's all kind of speculations, and you could point to this, which is what I'm trying to do, but there is no knowing where, knowing how. There's just knowing. Just like I could sit here and have a thought about something before it actually comes to be. I'd use my imagination, which is what goes on in this existence, on this side of existence. We see that imagination come to manifest, and that's my fascination behind just life itself, reality itself. The fact that there's this thing, there's this power, there's this force that allows us to create, which is the point of this video. This creation that we are a part of, or that we express our own creation, is a mimicry of creation itself, because creation itself already created what was here, and we are now using what is here to make our own creation. And there's many ways you could break down creation, and how we are just an extended hand in creation, using creation itself as tools to create our own vision. This is what fascinates me about this term supreme range. And I could go further down that whole road of dimensionless and infinity and potential and all that stuff, but I've come to see what's the point. And don't get me wrong, because I don't want to disregard that as if it's nothing, because that is where everything comes from. So that has a value to it that can't even be measured, that can't even really be talked about. But the thing is, as it stands, this is where we express that infinite potential through our own vision, with our own creation. So you could kind of get lost in wondering about this dimensionless reality. And there's plenty of people that did a good job of saying what this dimensionless realm is capable of, what words to use to express it. And maybe I'll touch on that in future videos, but I'm just fascinated about what comes out of it, what what people, you know, are able to bring into this reality to express who they are as an individual. And it's not to say that it's the people, because initially it is the power that is given to people, animals, insects, it don't matter. I'm just talking about the expression of life in general. And just to see it all unfold, just to see it all turn into whatever it is that grabs your attention, my attention. That's the thing that I tie Supreme Range into, just that power to express. The fact that it's here, it blows my mind. And some people have that same fascination. I think it's easily looked past on of what it is that's actually happening. You know, this is why there's a division in almost everything that we see, because we think it's an individual accomplishment of doing something. But it's never an individual accomplishment. It's always involved in this matrix that the individual is a part of. And you know, I give credit where credit's due when I see somebody do something amazing, and I'm fascinated when I see that. But I think when it's not seen in the correct way, how any individual achievement is done through the matrix of multiple events and things going on to say that this happened, you know, is that's really what creates conflict in understanding. You know, if we all just, well, I won't even say if we are, if we were informed more how everything is done through this power, I'm gonna just call it power, call it source, this dimensionless infinite potential, then naturally we would understand how we are all connected, because it, like I said, it permeates through all of us. You know, without that, this physical aspect, it can't be. So the best way that I come to understand this is just to speak about what it gives. You know, whether it's sport, whether it's science, whether it's competition, but technically that is sport. Just anything that can be done that you would deem incredible. You know, that's how I view the phrase Supreme Range. Just look at the magnificence of what this power can do through, in particular, human beings. Naturally, because I'm a human, that's what I, you know, give the most credit to. But that's not to say that, you know, you won't be fascinated by animals. Many people are fascinated by animals, and for good reason, because it's just incredible what some animals can do, you know. So this is just me giving another perspective on what Supreme Range is, because it's a lot that I want to share, but a lot of it won't be understood until it is known what I'm actually speaking of. It's just a fascination of what goes on in this thing we call reality. So this is just, you know, more videos to come of what I'm speaking of when I say Supreme Range. But there will be more actual things that express Supreme Range in real time. So naturally, as time goes on, it'll be understood of what I'm actually speaking on, unless, you know, you already know. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.